Hey guys, I'm Francisco, and this is my YouTube channel. Before I forget, today I'm going to be talking about RV living. How did I get here? How has it been going? Good, the bad, everything else, and in between. So I'm excited to share these stories with you. On to it now. But before we get to this one last little step, let me just tell you who my co-pilot is this evening. This strain today is actually called Megafauna. I've had a couple bowls of this already. I've had to take a couple more takes, do a couple more takes of this than I thought I would. You know, sort of like one of those like little wine samples. You don't think it hits you until after a couple of those little few samples. You're like, oh shit, it's actually restarting to hit me. Anyways, so yeah, this is restarting to hit me. What am I smoking exactly that's hitting me this hard? Is Megafauna. It is an 80/20 sativa blend. What do I mean by sativa? For those who aren't exactly really well acquainted with terminology, you have three categories of cannabis. You have sativa, hybrids, and indicas. Sativas are basically the ones that are sort of more on the active side, the energizing, the focusing, the motivating for working out, working on projects, whatever it is the case may be. Something that sort of gets you going. Indica, think of indica like in the couch, which basically means you have some indicas that will help you sleep from sleeping to just helping just take a little bit of the edge off on life just a little bit for yourself. For example, I have a really good indica that I really like is cake batter. It gives me a great body high. It's like as if you slam back like 2 or 3 shots of something. You just get this wave of relief, and it's just it is a perfect end of the day kind of strain. Anywho, the information, by the way, that I'm about to give you guys comes from allbuds.com. It's one of the a few websites that I go to sort of just get my cannabis references and information. I really suggest that you guys go on their website. I really like how they speak of the lineage of the strains, and as much detail as they can. So yeah, give that website a try and just check it out for yourselves. In the meantime, let me just tell you a little bit more about Megafauna. It is a cross, a Snapple and Super Silver Haze F3. It is more on the energizing, creative kind of side for people. I can definitely say it's more on the energizing and the creative side. I guess that's what's been keeping me going on this. I mean, like it's a very flooding of ideas in my head. On the medicinal side of it all, though, people tend to use it for more chronic pain, fatigues, and muscle spasms. The good thing is that it brings you that kind of relief without the sedative properties of, let's say, your whole body being just like on second gear. For me, it's great because I have some injuries that I deal with, some aches and pains on the daily, and right now, to be honest, it does feel good, and I don't feel sedated. The taste, on the other hand, it's more earthy, citrusy with a bit of a lemony pine aftertaste. I can definitely taste the earthy side. The lemony citrusy, in all honesty, I didn't taste until maybe by like my third bowl, something like that. And yeah, there is a bit of an aftertaste there to it. So yeah, that is Megafauna, guys. If you guys want to learn a little bit more about that, one of the websites that I was telling you about that I use today is allbuds.com. So give them a check out and see what information you want to look about cannabis and strains. But now, before we start onto the RV living side, a little drum roll, please. Let me just take not my first hit of this bowl, which is awesome because the first hit of a fresh bowl is like the bite into a fresh sandwich. And yeah, so let me just take this hit right quick. Okay, so RV living. Right now, I find myself in my four-wheeled hut, whose name is currently Felicity. We have been together for the last 2 years. The first year and a half of having her was a year and a half of tests and just tests and patience and humility, and yeah, it was a very humbling experience, just having to deal with her because when I first got her, when I first got her, there's something about her. She had good bones, and so there's something about her. It's like, okay, this is mine. This is mine. We were meant to be, and yeah, it's been a year and a half of challenges. The first year and a half was like a lot of challenges. I had a little bit of experience prior to that because I lived in with my ex in an RV community, which plays a bit of a role into the dirtier aspects of, I guess you could say the dirtier aspects if you want to, of the whole emptying of the tanks. There is a difference of community living and independent living. When I first started, I was fortunate enough to be in the community kind of living, so I didn't have to necessarily deal with those nitty-gritty details. Now I do have to deal with them, and those details I will get to. But yeah. So, but that year of living with my ex and I was able to learn a couple little tricks here and there to sort of help prepare me for the challenges I laid with Felicity. Um, I'll just say I was very underprepared. I don't want to say underprepared, but there were times where this was very overwhelming. It came from she's had I so many things fixed. So many things fixed. But the good thing is she works. She fucking works. And it's just, I can't tell you how proud I am about that. Like, I can't tell you because that's all part of the experience. Like these frustrations, these repairs, these tantrums that we throw sometimes out of just pure, like what else can I do? All that is part of this. It's all part of the RV living, and I wouldn't take it back for the world. I would not take this back for the world. And I can't tell you, like, I can't tell you what it is. It's something. It's something that this is all part of it. Unless you're fortunate enough to have a new rig, get ready to face issues. Get ready to face issues that other people had fixed, that they had changed how it was supposed to be. This engine, she needed to be rewired because the wiring was already hella fucked up. Hella fucked up. And, I had to redo the ignition system. The engine had to get rebuilt. All these things. But she works. She works. And not only works, she has been resurrected. And that is what I feel has been symbolic of myself, of my life as well. Throughout these whole last 2 years, because when my ex and I parted ways, I lived in my car for a while, and then I I stumbled upon this RV, and it was and yeah, and it's just, she had her issues, and it's like there was I learned very quickly that you could lose everything. Everything. And there were times I felt helpless while fixing her up because I never knew if she would get to that point. I doubted myself. I doubted her. And I was like, God, just something has to go right. You know what I mean? But that's where something that, because I can't stop smiling. Like I'm telling these stories, and it sounds like I'm really frustrated, and I'm not. I can't stop smiling because at the end of the day, no matter how frustrated I got with something that went on with her, if at any moment I was able to sneak a smile in, it could be like a hair of a second, right? If at any moment I could sneak in a smile, I knew that in the end it would be okay. And that's why I always try to tell people, I'm like, if no matter how tough of a situation, how bad of a situation, at least for me, I'm not gonna say for everybody else, for me, if I've been able to smile for once, even for a moment, I know that in the end it's all gonna be okay. And it's been that way. It didn't happen overnight, it didn't happen easily, but it was okay. It became okay. And she has been resurrected. Felicity has been fucking resurrected. And with her, I've grown. I've learned so much. I've learned when to tap out. I learned I couldn't fix her on my own. I learned that I needed to reach out for help. Majority of the shit on her I did by myself, and I'm really proud of it. But the main shit, like the nuts and bolts of it all, like the engine, the rewiring of the fucked up wiring in the engine, I didn't know what I was doing. I had to reach out for help, and I got no problem saying that. I have no problem saying that I had to reach out for help because this tests you. I mean, these are the situations that test you, especially when you're home, especially when you don't even know if you can move or if there's an emergency, if what happens, because there were times because for the first year and a half, her engine had, among other things, at the end of the day, her engine also had a gremlin that it would start and sometimes it wouldn't. You know what I mean? And it's just like there were challenges with her, and I wouldn't take it back for the world. I mean, like, if you want to see a full blown meltdown like that pouty, I'm gonna take my ball, go home, just kicking the dirt, just wallowing for a second kind of meltdown. That was me. Oh shit, that was me. That was me. There were moments like that. There were fucking moments like that. You're like, "Wah!" And the thing is, though, it's like that's all part of this experience. That's all part of this experience. Like, again, I said, like, if you were fortunate enough to have a newer system to where things, are more reliable, then I'm really happy for you. You know what I mean? That's not the case for me, and it doesn't bother me. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't expecting as many issues. You know what I mean? But like, it doesn't bother me. And one thing, like, for example, one thing that was broken on her that I fixed was the hot water heater. Um, I semi-fixed. I mostly tuned up, and I had to get the circuit board replaced. But after the circuit board got replaced, I sort of tuned up with some things. Anyways, um, after that got fixed, now in the middle of winter, I marvel at the fact that I can have boiling hot water in my little hut on wheels, and I could take this boiling hot water anywhere I want now, anywhere I want now, because because Felicity has been resurrected. You know what I mean? It's like, ugh. I just sorry. No, I'm not gonna apologize for that. This is I feel very proud about this, and like I said, this lifestyle isn't for everybody. I really urge people to try it out, though. If you have the, again, this was one of the situations that I wasn't exactly. I sort of dreamed about, I wondered about, but I didn't enact upon until I lost my job. So it wasn't like one of those things like, oh, let me just like jump head into it, So I completely understand, people's hesitations and stuff. But if you have the opportunity, even for just like a week or something, to rent one out or something, I mean, I recommend it, because it's peaceful, and everything will be working. I mean, that I just thought about. Everything will be working, so that would be a blessing. But yeah, I just highly recommend it. It's a liberating lifestyle. Like I said, it does come with its issues. For example, one being, how do you empty your tanks? Like I said in the beginning, I lived in an RV community. What does that mean? It had plumbing, in the sense that our tanks are black water hoses connected into like some kind of central septic tank. So we didn't have to worry about anything. It was set and forget. Now, since I'm on my tanks, I have to rely on going to dump stations at a gas station. Um, and that's something that, at first I was very uncomfortable with. It's because you get to intimately know yourself, and your life sometimes with your RV, and it's one of those things is that this process of emptying out the black water tank, I was pretty grossed out about it in the very beginning, and now it's like second nature. I'm like, boom, and I go, and I actually prefer it that way, to be quite honest, because it gives me an excuse to drive the RV, and also let her spread her wings a little bit, get some fresh air, and and just I don't know. I mean, it just sort of cements that more sense of mobile independence, So that honestly is really that, in the fact that if you get a rig that's got some age on it, expect repairs to be rigged in creative manners sometimes. So be ready for that. But outside of that, if you I wouldn't take any of this back for the world. And like now this is Felicity. This is Felicity, and I'm so proud of her. And it's like, just like her, like, it's just how she got resurrected. I have grown so much through all this. This was my rebuilding of my life after my breakup. It's like there was a lot. There was a lot of changes that were happening, and And yeah, there were moments of hopelessness and fear. But there was that sense of everything was going to be okay. And I was blessed enough to have, you know, everything turn out fine. And after a year and a half, I got her working. And if there's one thing I'm proud about the last 2 years or so, in the last 2 years, is this. You know, I now have my little home, and my little home works, and I love it. And she's got personality, she's got spunk, and I love that. So yeah, this is my little home. This is my Felicity, and this is where I'm recording. So yeah, this has been my little RV life. I just I could go into more detail about this. Just like I've said before, 20 minutes isn't enough. I just hope to have been able to give you guys just a better glimpse into this kind of lifestyle and the good and the bad and the meltdowns and everything in between, and just to share with you guys this what I'm going through right now. It is an ever evolving situation, and I just I'm happy. I'm happy at where it's at. I just like when I talk about Felicity, like I can't stop smiling now. It's because she works. She fucking works. She's been resurrected, and yeah, that's just Have you guys ever had that where you've done something where you're so proud of, where just something, I don't know. I don't know if it's pride. I don't know if it's what it is, but there's just like there's just this sense of just, yeah, pride or joy. Just, I did it, or we did it, and this works. It's that same kind of sensation. Um, so with that kind of energy, I leave you guys with the end of this. I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. I hope that again I was able to bring a little bit more, a little bit more clarity into, I don't know, my into my life, into this chapter of my life. And yeah, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. If you have any comments, any ideas, or want to share any stories, or want to ask me something, just leave a comment below. Message me on Facebook, or hit me up on Instagram, which I forgot to mention before what my handle is, and it is Shaggy Adventure. So, yeah, Shaggy Adventure. So yeah. Anywho, yeah. You see, I just get giddy talking about Felicity. So again, on that note, y'all, I'm gonna leave you guys. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. I hope you guys were, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves, and I hope you guys stay blessed, all right?